Hi guys, welcome to my very first YouTube video. As you can tell by the title, this is my 19 and pregnant story. It is currently 1 in the morning, so if I sound tired or if I look dead, it's because I'm tired. Okay, so first I'm going to start by introducing myself just a little bit, or introducing my relationship. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 3.5 years. We do make 4 years in May, and my baby is also due in May. We met our freshman year of high school, so quite a while back. In order for you guys to kind of get a better understanding of how it came to be that I told my parents about my pregnancy or whatever, I have to talk about last year, January 2020. So last year, I did get pregnant. Unfortunately, that pregnancy didn't reach full term. I was 2 months pregnant when I miscarried, but I'm kind of just gonna really focus on how I told my parents or how the situation came to be and where I'm at now. Okay, so one day me and my sister were downstairs watching a movie and my dad came that night. We sat down and we were just talking about life, like literally that was it. But I already knew that I wanted to tell my parents. At this point, I think I was like a couple weeks in, and I just wanted to get it off my chest so they can be aware about the pregnancy. But anyways, we started talking about like our future goals or whatever, and I started throwing little hints, like telling him I want to move out, or I feel like it's best for what's coming, or blah blah blah. And it didn't take but like 5 minutes for him to realize what I was talking about, and he's the one who catched on and asked me. Once he asked me, I got really emotional and just started crying. I'm kind of a pussy like that, but he just didn't really have much to say. He was just like, oh, I mean, like, okay, it's what it is, like, I'm not mad at you or anything. And he went upstairs and did his own thing. It's not that my dad doesn't like care or whatnot, but me and him are not close. He's my dad and whatnot, and I live with him, but we're not buddies. Like, we'll talk here and then, and I adore him, but we don't open up to each other, if that makes sense. Me and my mom, on the other hand, we're literally besties. I can tell her anything and whatever, and she's gonna be literally the most understanding person in the entire world, which is why I adore her. How my mom found out, I didn't have the balls to tell her, so I basically just sent my sister to go tell her, and then my mom came in to my room and asked me if it was true. I told her it was, started bawling out again, and she just said that I need to suck it up. Like, she didn't sugarcoat anything. She just said, this is serious, you need to suck it up, get your shit together, and see where you're gonna go from it next. So around that time, it was very difficult because I was already going through my own shit. It was senior year of high school. The year was about to end, so a bunch of like it's when you start applying to college or start getting ready for exams. So it was getting really hectic for me because people who know me know that I'm not a school person. I wasn't bad at school whatsoever, but I'm not school driven or like driven in that field or whatever. So I was just really stressed out trying to get my shit together, and then I had the pregnancy on top of that. Me and my mom weren't really communicating. It's not that we didn't want to communicate with each other, it was just really awkward. We didn't know what to say with each other. She was just disappointed in a way. So that was really hard on me because me and my mom, it's rare when we don't talk. We usually are always talking, and for us not to talk for that long, it was very hard on me. Then, as some time passed, what was more traumatic of an experience is how the miscarriage occurred. It wasn't like anything like you would expect. So that day I did go to the hospital, but the physician at that hospital happened to tell me that I was going through an ectopic pregnancy. And if you guys know what that is, basically is when your fetus gets trapped in the fallopian tube and didn't reach the uterus and can put you in a risky situation, basically like a life or death situation. When you hear something like that, you freak out. Also, my boyfriend, so me and him, we aren't very educated on this stuff, especially during that time. So it was very, what's the word? It was too much. It was just way too much for both of us. After that, the doctor or whatever, she told us that that hospital specifically did not specialize on that, so it had to be transferred to a different hospital. Once I made it over to the other hospital, that doctor told me that what they had said was incorrect and I was falsely informed, but I am just going through a normal miscarriage. I look back now and I feel like, not that I would have been okay with the situation, but it would have been a lot more at ease if all that stuff didn't happen. I would get more into detail, but like, it was just so much. It was not what I was expecting, especially around that time with everything going on. It was a lot to carry. So after that happened, we basically just pushed it aside. No one really spoke about it again in my family. My parents and my sister didn't say much about it. I guess more because they didn't want to bring up something like that, of course, to me. But one thing they did say, or my parents told me, they told me to wait. They said, don't get pregnant anytime soon. I know what happened, but take your time, graduate high school, graduate college, get married with your boyfriend, do whatever, and just wait. Like, everything at its step. My parents grew up in Mexico, so they're very traditional and they have a certain like way as things should go. They literally want me to get married before I have a kid, which just, of course, at that time it didn't happen that way. So around the time that summer started rolling around, me and my boyfriend, of course, didn't have any plans to get pregnant. We had already talked about it and we figured that we weren't ready and we were gonna wait until we were old enough, and we knew we wanted to get married, just of course not at 18 or whatever. A couple months passed and I started mentioning the idea of getting the implant to my boyfriend. He was okay with it. I also spoke about it to my mom and she said, it's up to you. If you think it's what you need to do, then okay, go ahead. I set up an appointment, but of like literally 2 weeks before that appointment, I started feeling really sick. Like a type of feeling that I've never felt before. I've gotten sick in the past, but this was something different. At that time, I thought it had to do with COVID just because that was like a big thing around that time. So I was just like, oh fuck, like I'm probably catching the flu or whatever, like, or I'm catching the virus. Like, I need to really be on the lookout. When I told my friend about it, she said, have you started your period or anything? Which I hadn't like at the time. But my period is not irregular, it's just it comes between the end or beginning of the month. I don't know an exact date, it's just when around that time I know I'm supposed to start my period. So I was expecting it, I just didn't know that I wasn't gonna get it. So then she kind of gave me the idea to go ahead and take a test just to be safe, just because she didn't think I was sick or anything. So that's what I did. I went to my local Walgreens, I picked up a test super fast, and then I went home. I peed on that stick, and literally once those like 2 minutes passed and I saw those bright 2 lines, I knew. I was just like, oh my gosh, did I manifest this or something? Because a little voice in my head was telling me, girl, you're pregnant, like 100% you are. So I kind of already knew. I just wanted to like put it back in my head that I wasn't. So once I saw the test, the first thing I did was take a picture of it and send it to my boyfriend. I'm currently editing this video. I forgot that I do have a picture of the test. I'm gonna go ahead and show you that picture that I sent him. It'll be right there. Even he was like, oh my gosh, you're kidding me, are you for real? It's not that he wasn't like excited, it's just at the time, after what had happened, we're just like, what? Are you for real? Like, is this legit? I thought we were being safe, or me and him thought we were being safe, but that wasn't the case. So we kind of just took it in and decided that we were going to keep it to ourselves for a minute. We weren't going to say anything just because I was about to turn 19 the next month or so, so I wanted to wait until then to tell my parents about the situation. And I also was kind of afraid, just if the pregnancy didn't go full term, I didn't want to tell them, and then, you know, not that I want to think negatively, it's just once you go through something, you always have that thought. Anyways, so then we waited, but I made it my responsibility. Like, I got my shit together, hit the books, looked up stuff on how to get onto like pregnancy Medicaid or whatnot, and where to go about finding an OB and all that. And I did all that. I literally booked my first appointment, went to it, they told me everything was looking fine, and so on. How I told my parents, I didn't say it again like last time. I don't know, I don't have the balls to like say those words, especially around that time after what happened. So I just made it my mission to throw hints. That's what I did. I threw so many hints to my mom. Every time we would sit down for dinner, I would just be like, oh, my stomach hurts, I feel like throwing up. And I mean, it was true. She usually makes eggs for breakfast with something else, but the smell of eggs was the worst. Disgusting. Like, when I tell you, ugh, I hated it. So I would just always make little comments like, oh my gosh, mom, I feel gross, like I want to throw up, or blah blah blah. I think she for a minute thought it was because of COVID, but then eventually started catching up once I made it like, okay, no, for real, like I'm pregnant, I want to tell you I'm pregnant, but I don't want to tell you, type thing. So then my birthday hit. When my birthday hit, we were gonna have like alcohol for my party, and I told her I wasn't gonna drink because I feel sick. And she noticed that I wasn't drinking. My friends were drinking, but I was just there chilling and not taking a sip, and she found that kind of weird. Like, there's no way my daughter hasn't taken a sip. No way. I also that day got a gift for my friend, which is, let me show you, which is this charm, and it's like little baby shoes or whatever. And my mom saw it. My cousin actually BS some lie and said that it was like some inside joke or something. I don't know, my mom is not stupid. Like, I'm pretty sure my mom knew, but my mom never said anything. That was the thing. I'm pretty sure she was waiting for me to say something to her. So a couple of days after my birthday, my boyfriend came over and we were just hanging out. That same night, my dad came, but he was drunk. My dad does drink, so it's like, it's nothing new to us. But the thing is, when he drinks, he has one or two moods. Either this mood, he's extremely happy and like chilling, like he will talk for hours, or he is pissed. And do not bother him, do not bring up anything bad, because he's literally like just gonna blow up on you, and you don't want to see that because it's not pretty. But that's just how my dad is, and I grew up with him like that, so I'm so used to it at this point. Either way, he came, he sat down, and he looked at me and my boyfriend and he said, I got a question for you guys. We knew, like, we looked at each other and we're like, oh shit, is this it? Like, or is he about to tell us what we think he's about to tell us? My sister had company at that time, so as soon as she left, he like said it out loud. He was like, okay, I have a question for you guys. It's more a question for you, Angela, but like, is it true? Are you pregnant? I looked at my boyfriend. I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, where'd you hear this from? And my dad just said, I'm asking you, like, is it true? You don't have to lie to me. I kept denying it. I don't know why I kept denying it. I think I was just like, oh, I don't know. It just feels weird when you're in that position. You don't know what to say. I started getting really uncomfortable, and especially with my dad, since I said before, we're not close like that. So it was just even, ugh, I don't know. But I never answered his question. He just kept on talking and basically said, well, your mom was saying that she thinks you are, and if you are, then it's okay. You don't need to be ashamed of it. This is something to be happy about. You know what happened last time, so let's move past that and make sure this pregnancy like is healthy. You need to take care of yourself. You need to do this and this and that. He was basically just like telling me to be safe and to take care, like just what he said, to take care of myself and to ensure that the pregnancy runs smoothly, which is what I was doing. Around that same time that he was like midway through his conversation, my mom had came downstairs. She sat down. Eventually she caught on what we were talking about, but just sat there and listened and staring back and forth like so between me and my boyfriend, and me and him were just like, oh fuck, like she doesn't have that happy stare. She is serious. My dad finished talking or saying his part, and he basically passed it down to my mom and asked her if she had anything to add on. All she said was, nope, you guys know what I have to say about it. You just need to like figure out what y'all want to do and get to it. And that was it. Like, she didn't say anything else. I don't think it's because she didn't have anything to say. It's just at the moment, you know, how would you react? Especially my Hispanic parents and the way they grew up. Like, this is not something they anticipated. I think my dad was more at ease about it because he already has 5 grandchildren. My mom has 0. She has 2 older sons, but they don't have kids. So for me, her 19-year-old daughter compared to her 26 and 30-year-old son to be pregnant is more like news to her, like what the hell type news. My dad, he just wants grandkids. He literally told me that same night, this better not be the last one. You need to have 2, 3, 4 more or whatever. But that's just how he is. It's not that I knew that he was gonna react like this. I thought he was gonna flip. I literally thought he was gonna flip like the first time or whatever, but he was surprisingly so okay with it. My mom, I understand where she was coming from, but it was just more upsetting because me and her are so tight and it took a minute for us to bond again, but eventually now we're literally amazing. Like, I couldn't ask for a better situation. So kind of getting to that, time has passed. My mom, she can't come to appointments with me because of COVID, so every day or literally every time I have an appointment, she'll ask me how it went, or she'll ask me if I've been eating okay, or if I'm making sure, like just making sure making sure everything is going well. She is so excited to be a grandma. My boyfriend literally for Christmas got her a charm that said abuela on it. It was so cute, and her reaction was like, it was adorable. I'm gonna show you my bump really fast. Right now, currently, I am 23 weeks and 4 days as I'm speaking to you guys. I don't have the biggest belly bump, to be honest. I thought that at 6 months pregnant I would be humongous, but it's literally average, or average to me. But let me show you really fast. So this is me from the front, and then this is me from the side. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, there's her. Um, it is a girl. I found out she was a girl literally my first appointment. I was 9 weeks and 2 days, my first appointment, and then they asked me if I want to do the blood test, and I said hell yeah, and they did it. And then 2 weeks later I found out it was a girl. We just cut a cake and simple like that. But I just want to really tell you guys, if you are around my age or even younger or however old you are, and you are pregnant and are terrified of telling your parents, I was too. I was extremely scared of telling my parents. I wasn't sure if they were gonna react the way like how they did at all. I was afraid that I wasn't gonna have a place to go, or they weren't gonna support me, or I was gonna have to do everything by myself. But literally, thanks to God, thanks to everything, like, their reaction was more understanding. This is why I say everything happens for a reason. That past situation happened for a reason. I felt like, of course, I wasn't ready then, and timing is everything. I look at it now and I see that God puts everything in place, and now he knows that I was a lot more ready, a lot more mature to do things on my own, and basically put me in a situation that made me more comfortable around my family. Also, if you are struggling or for whatever reason, I was 18 when I miscarried, and it's usually very rare, or so I would think, because you're so young, you don't expect anything like that. You would think your pregnancy would go on full term. But like I said, everything happens for a reason. And I don't think I was ready then, and God was just showing me a new way, or kind of giving me that, like, what is it, like that opening, like that mind opening, that hey, like, look at things this way and be prepared for what's coming, basically. But don't be afraid, everything's gonna be okay. In my boyfriend's case, his parents are a lot different than mine. His are just more religious than mine, so they have different beliefs. They were more upset about it, but with time, it took way longer than my parents, but still with time they got used to the idea and are now as eager as how my parents would be. They're not the same, they're not 100% there yet, and my parents are like, oh my gosh, ready for it. So it just kind of depends on the situation. He knows that no matter what, they're always going to support him and whatnot, but they also aren't like obsessed with the idea, if that makes sense. So just hope for the best, pray, and or whatever you do, just keep in those positive energies, and everything's going to turn out, literally everything's going to be okay. So that's pretty much all I have. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to leave those questions down below, and I'll make sure to get back to you guys and answer them. I'm also planning to start posting once a week, so hopefully that goes the way I planned. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and let me know if you guys want some more content. Yeah, but thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Bye.